Hello everybody, welcome to Triathlon Fall Fest made by ROUVY and Challenge Family. Triathlon Fall Fest, it's a festival full of interesting stuff in the program connected to triathlon, connected to internet online sporting activities, and this one right now starting, let's say that's the cherry on the top of the cake. We will have a race on the course of Challenge Roth with pro athletes and discussion. Interesting stuff here from the studio in Prague, and I hope lots of you guys will join us racing or only watching. So actually, what's ahead of us? What's on our program for today's? We will introduce you the Triathlon Fall Fest at all, as I did briefly already in the beginning. We will introduce you our speakers and riders. We will come to the warm-up ride, and then there will be a race, the main part of today's live broadcasting. We will kindly ask you to follow all our social medias. You can watch it online on YouTube channel, ROUVY, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on and so on. You can watch it on the Challenge Family socials as well. We are right now in the studio of ROUVY in Prague. We are based in Prague, but you can watch it from all over the world, and you can join us, not only take part in the race, but you can join us in the different levels and the different ways. If you want to join the race, you obviously want to know what can you win. We have, I hope, fantastic prizes, not only for the participants of the race, but for all the participants of the Triathlon Fall Fest. And what's going on? You can, first of all, win 2 entry slots for DATEV Challenge Roth for 2023. You can win 1 Game Changer TT, the Ultimate Aero Helmet for time trialist. You can win 2 Element Rival Multisport GPS watch, creates a seamless training and racing experience. You can win 1 Power Bar kit, Mojito, Espresso or Chocolate, which one you like. You can win a Power Bar test box with various bars, gels and ISO drinks. You can win 2 times perfect choice for beginners with other gifts, and you can also win 50 times sweat pack from Best Side, one of the parts and sponsors of the Fall Fest. You can win core nutrition and these other stuff. You will have a chance to win it on social medias of ROUVY. And you can also join this Fall Fest with a donation to Challenge Athletes Foundation. This is an organization chosen by Challenge Family for cooperation with the Fall Fest with ROUVY. The organization has impacted the lives of millions of young people, removing the barriers between their disabilities and being able to participate in sport. Please support this worthy foundation by scanning the code on the website of ROUVY Triathlon Fall Fest. Let me now please introduce my colleagues in the studio, the speakers. We have Simona Křivánková, the Czech long and middle distance triathlon racer. Hi, Simona.
Hello, everybody.
And we have the CEO of Challenge Family, Jort Vlam, coming from Netherlands to Prague to join us for today. Thank you. Hi.
Good morning. Thanks.
And we also have online Belinda Granger joining us from Australia. Is that right, Belinda? Hi, how are you? Belinda is in Australia. I hope a former racer and voice of Challenge Family. Okay, she's ready and she'll do the commentary for some parts of the race. As I mentioned before, the main part of today's live stream, it's going to be the race, not only the whole bike course of DATEV Challenge Roth, but the most significant one, we will get to it later. But basically, Simona, what's your experience with the most, I don't know, one of the most famous triathlon races, DATEV Challenge Roth?
So actually, I have two experiences in Roth. I have raced there 2 times. First race was 2015, and it's a personal, a good experience because it was my first long-distance triathlon after giving a birth, and it was 9 months. And second one, it was in 2019. And of course, as it is a really big and stunning atmosphere in Roth, you can have just a really nice experience. There are a lot of audience along the whole course, and it's unforgettable race.
Thank you. I hope an unforgettable race will be for everybody joining us today as well online. Jort, obviously everybody knows that the World Championships of Challenge Family is in Šamorín, Slovakia, but Challenge Roth, it's kind of a mythical race for me. Is it, according to you, one of the top races for the whole season annually as well?
Yes, of course, Challenge Roth, that is where the inspiration came from for the whole Challenge family. It is one of our flagship races. And everyone that has been one time in Roth knows why. It is an unseen situation that the community of Roth, the whole Landkreis, is so involved with triathlon. 250,000 people are coming there as a spectator when there are only like 20,000 citizens in the direct neighborhood. So there is happening something special, and that is visible for everyone around the course, but also on the course. When you are riding the Solar Hill, which will be the final of today, that is something really amazing.
So first few words from our guests in our studio in Prague. Here you can see the introduction. Jort Vlam, Dutch professional triathlete, former, I would say, right? Because right now...
No, not a professional athlete. No,
but right now, the professional organizer and professional CEO, he's the, let's say, the most important guy in the Challenge Family organization right now, working on the daily basis for the benefit of you guys racing the Challenge Family races. And we can see the graphic with Simona Krivánkova, as well as I mentioned before, the elite Czech professional triathlete. You can see her successes. She is a queen of the Czech long distance races for a long time with quite interesting and important international success as well. So these are two great guys with me here in the studio in Prague, and shortly we will be back with the introduction of our professional triathletes taking part in today's race.
What starts here could change the world. Training means taking on a fight with yourself. A fight that can only be won, right? Redefine yourself and be at your very best in your darkest moments. Reimagine what is possible. Your personal best. difference and change the world. Train smarter, race stronger. Best side.
What a day for a race. We could not have asked for better. We've got a 113 kilometres of swim, bike and run on tap. It's what these athletes have trained for, and that feeling when they cross the finish line, well, there's nothing quite like it.
We're back in studio, back in Prague, back in ROUVY studio, based in Czech Republic with Jort and Simona. And as I promised before, we will now introduce you to pro athletes taking part in today's online race on the course of Challenge Roth. So who's going to be here with us? Who's going to do the race among the pro athletes? First one I would like to introduce you is Reinaldo Colucci. Here you can see his graphics, Brazilian professional triathlete, Ironman Brazil champion, third place on the Challenge Roth. That's the race most important today for us. Another racer we are happy to have today with us, Fenella Langridge, British professional triathlete, among her tops of her career, second place in the Challenge Roth, and you can see a lot of more other great results. We also have Nikki Bartlett. You can see her, another British professional triathlete, a few victories around all the globe. So that's Nikki Bartlett. Lucy Buckingham, another British professional triathlete. I guess, as you know, Great Britain is a real powerhouse in all kinds of triathlon. Lucy Buckingham, former Olympian from London 2012, won in Gdynia, won in Chamorin, the World Championship 70.3. We have Lucy Byram. I don't have to mention one more time where she's coming from. Obviously, Great Britain. first place in Challenge Wales, 70.3. First place, Ironman Venice, 70.3, her biggest success. Pablo Dapena González, Spanish professional triathlete, former swimmer, makes him excellent in the first discipline. A lot of great victories, a lot of great results for Pablo. Happy to have him today in the starting lineup as well. We have one Czech guy, Petr Vabroušek, Czech professional triathlete, 13 times Czech national champion over long distance triathlon, finish more than 220 Iron distances races and won 51 of those overall. That's Petr Vabroušek. And I would say the biggest star of today broadcast, it's Magnus Ditlev, Danish professional triathlete, and you can see first place in Challenge Roth. It means that Magnus is the reigning champion of the race, which is the main interest of our today's live broadcast. We should have all of them in the warm-up right now, and maybe we can see them. Anyway, what do you think, Jort and Simona, about the lineup we have just introduced, about the quality of the field? Ladies first.
I guess we have a really nice and high-quality professional field, so it will be a nice race, because I think it's not so easy find out who will win the race, especially as it is not a season for everybody today. Somebody is, or some of the athletes have just started their training after their season, so we don't know what is the actual fitness of them.
We will have a chance to talk to some of them at least. Fenella, Magnus and Petr Vabroušek will be ready to talk to us in the studio during the race. So we will hear from them about their feelings, about their strategy, about their power, about their fitness right now. Jort, we have introduced a really strong field. What's your first thoughts about the race coming in the less than 12 minutes?
Yeah, it will be exciting to see. We have the reigning champion, as you say. Magnus is the specialist on the race for today, but he also had a quite great season. So, question is, how much power does he still have in his legs? But I have high expectations of him, of course. At the other hand, we are racing Roth, but we are only racing a part of Roth, so it will be very different. So let's see who can put out some sprint out of his or her legs at the final at the Sola Hill.
Mm-hmm. We will soon get to the section we're going to race today in the Challenge Roth. As I mentioned before, it's not full course on the bike, it's just a 40Ks. We will soon get you more details. Basically, you are, both of you, really experienced let's say, members of the triathlon community. What's your thoughts about the indoor doing this kind of sport? Basically, in the summer, I would say everybody loves to go out on the bike or run or swim or something like that. But it's impossible to do it all the year. So what's your approach to the indoor cycling, which is empowered by ROUVY in the last few years a lot?
From my point of view, it's really a good thing, because you can train whenever you want, independently on the weather conditions or on the traffic in your country. And I would also say it's really, you can train specific training with short sprints or short hard intervals, which are not every time possible outside. So I would say it's a really good opportunity how you can do your quality training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can train with every weather condition, and you can do the specific trainings, but you can also prepare specifically for a race with all these possibilities with ROUVY, when you can do literally the same course. You feel the hills, the down parts, the flat sections. You can see the surroundings, so you can really prepare and know how the course works. So that helps. And you see also with the triathletes, they also use it in the summer, still when the weather conditions are good. But because of the specific trainings, because it doesn't cost any extra time, it's just hop on the bike, you can do your training. You don't have to prepare or clean your bike or whatever. You can train on every moment you want. And we see from research with our triathletes in the Challenge family that people use it twice as much in the winter times, like 3 times a week on average, but in the summer still 1.5 times use it as a preparation for their races.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let me one more try to connect with Belinda Granger. I hope we can hear each other well. So, hi Belinda, one more try. Do you hear us?
I can hear you. It's perfect.
Yeah,
Finally,
that's perfect. Yeah, perfect. Thank you for joining us. So actually, we're in Prague, pretty much 10 a.m. in the morning. Was the time in Australia?
It is now about 10 to 7 p.m. at night. So we're 9 hours ahead of you.
9 hours.
I've already lived Sunday.
Oh, okay, 9 hours ahead of us. We have been just discussing the online training. What's your approach as a former triathlete to the online training indoors?
Well, really, really good question, because back in my day, we really didn't have anything like we've got today, and what you guys are doing on ROUVY, it's incredible for me, to be honest. I mean, all of my riding was done out on the road, and the only time that you would use the indoor trainer was if it was bad weather. But now I think it's reversed. I think majority of our professional athletes now are doing most of their sessions indoors on the trainers, where they can control the environment, and they're only going out on the road for their easier rides. So all of their specific training sessions, interval sessions, are all done now indoors. So it's completely role reversal on when I was racing. So it's quite interesting for me to see, and I can understand why they're doing it, because you get to control the conditions. And when you have a set session or set intervals that you need to do at a particular wattage for a particular amount of time, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You don't have to worry about traffic or traffic lights or roundabouts or anything interfering, and you've got complete control of your environment. So I totally understand why pro athletes are doing it these days.
Thank you, Belinda, for joining us. Obviously, former triathlete, but today commentator again of the race. So we will be happy to hear more from you. Let's now move on to the course we are doing today. It's a 40 km long section from bike course of DATEV Challenge Roth. As you can see, 414 meters elevation. We will have 2 split times after 9.8 kilometers and after 28 kilometers. So that's the basic data, and we have a short video about the course we are about to do today. 38 kilometers, you have seen the course, as well. Just briefly, is this the section which makes Challenge Roth real challenge road, Jort?
Yeah, I think so. You start with a slight downhill, and then you have a left turn, and then you have a steep climb in grading. Climb very steep. You see even some people step off their bike before the church. And after the church, you have another climb. There's an aid station, so you can cool yourself down a bit. And then you have a really fast descent. It's really nice, smooth but fast. And then the final part is the Solarberg, and that is the absolute top of Challenge Roth. There are 50,000 people there. If you come right on the corner at the foot of the hill, you don't see the road surface anymore. You only see people, and you have no clue how you can get up that hill because you only see the crowds, and they will part. When you driving up, and you see every athlete smiling, and it is a hell of a sound from all the cheers of the spectators. It is really something you never experienced before, and you get so much adrenaline for the rest of the lap. That is amazing.
And we will experience it today again in the online environment with our pros and with you guys as well. The race starts in less than 4 minutes. We will be back soon. Stay with us. The race starts. One minute to the start, 1 minute to the start of our today's race on the course of the DATEV Challenge Roth. We have 38 kilometers and the riders are lining up, they are warming up, and we have 37 seconds left to the start. So let's watch it online. Let's watch what happens and let's hear the commentary from Belinda Granger and the others as well. We will be joining the race from the studio, but let's have a look what's happening on start. Pretty much everybody is ready. It's beginning right now. So you can watch the race and enjoy it with us all together. So Belinda, could you give us your thoughts about the beginning of the race? We can see the guys just started.
So I've done this race here in Roth 10 times, so I know this course pretty much like the back of my hand. And as Jort said, it is one of the best and most spectacular parts of the Challenge Roth bike course. And there is nothing quite like it in the world. Obviously, I've raced all around the world. I was a professional athlete for over 20 years. And there is no climb in the world like Solara Berg. So the beginning of it is quite fast and furious. And you can see right now it's quite flat and downhill. And even Solara Berg itself, once they hit Solara Berg, it's not really that difficult. It's not very long. It's just less than a kilometre long. And you don't even feel it, to be honest. It doesn't even feel like a climb because you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of spectators lining the sides of the road. So you don't even get to see the hill, to be honest. And it's like a sea of people that just all of a sudden just starts at that last second. And like Jort said, it's actually quite scary. I remember the very first time I did the race back in 2004. I really didn't know what to expect, and I was scared because I didn't think that they were going to move in time for me to make it through. And so I remember screaming out loud because I was I'm coming from Australia. I really had never experienced anything like it in my career. So, yeah, it's a very exciting part. You can see now on course the roads, and one of the great things about the course in Challenge Roth are the roads are simply spectacular, super smooth tar, really, really fast surface. The roads are completely closed to traffic, so athletes get to have the entire road to themselves. They don't need to worry about that, but it's very, very fast. I think in this first section, you hit speeds upward of 40, 50 kilometres an hour before you start to make your way towards Solara Berg.
As you can see, it's a typical German landscape road, actually formerly known as a road by Nuremberg, is in Bavaria and the capital of its own district. And it's located 25 km south of Nuremberg, and actually it's in Germany, but it has its queen, because everybody knows that Belinda is known as a queen of road. You personally like this nickname?
I do. I remember from the very first time that I was invited to race back in 2004, and I went back pretty much every year after that for 10 years straight. So I've done it 10 years, and even after that, I've continued to go back in a working capacity, so doing the live commentary for Roth, and also, of course, working for Challenge Family as the pro liaison. I have my family there, my German homestay family, same family I had from the very beginning, and I am extremely close to them. They are like an extended family to me. My mum and dad have been, my sister and her partner have been. Of course, my husband, Justin, has been many, many times. He's raced it as much as I have. And, yeah, it's just an incredibly special race to me. I'm very close to the Roth family, so Felix, Alice, his mother, and, of course, Catherine, the Volsefer family, and their entire team there in Roth. And they are incredibly special people. I get quite emotional thinking about it because they really are. It's not just a race to me. It's a destination that I go to, and it feels like I'm coming home every year that I come there. It's one in a million, and all of my friends. I was actually talking about it today. Marinda Carfrae, who has won the race before, obviously world champion several times, and we were talking about Roth, and then she said to me today how lucky she is to have experienced that race just once, because she's won kind of many times, but she actually said today that Roth is so special and is one of the most incredible wins that she's ever had. And I think that just says everything of how special this race really is.
Mm-hmm. Right now it's November, and the race is held annually in June. So I guess you're really looking forward to get back there in June 2023 again.
Absolutely. I always ask Felix before I leave every year. I ask him to give me the confirmed date, so I mark it in my diary straight away and make sure that that date's taken. So, yeah, a little bit earlier for next year. Normally we're used to it being at the beginning of July. for next year. It's the end of June, but it's much of a muchness there. It's not much difference at all. And yeah, I'll definitely be back. I cannot wait.
Okay. For now, thank you, Belinda. We will be short back to you for your commentary and for your expertise. We are watching the race here in the studio with Simona and Jort. Have you actually found out how many people are taking part in the race? It looks to me it's a huge crowd on course right now. What your first thoughts? You know the course very well. You realize your memories from the race.
Yeah, I cannot see how many people there are, but I see a lot of people as our camera point of view is riding through the whole group, and there are hundreds of people. And now we are exactly at the point where the climb starts. Here's the left turn, and yeah, here you have to stand on the pedals from the beginning. I don't know what your experience was, but
yes, you are right. And especially now we are going 40 kilometers, so you have to push hard really the whole race. But in case of triathlon, you have to be very you have to go quite easy to the uphill, as you have to save energy for the whole triathlon.
Yeah. You see that we have a climb of 10% here, so it is dark orange on the map here. You see that the pace is dropping. Yeah, this is a great part of the course. Here you really can battle with your fellow athletes, and you can make a difference when you are managing your way up the hill here in Grading.
Yes, I would say that this bike course is that one where you have sharp hills, uphills, downhills, technical sections downhill, but you also have a flat sections here, so you can find everything on one course. So it's, I would say, a race for everybody, because if you race just if the race is just a flat course, it's not good for people who don't like flats. But here you can really enjoy all different parts as you can have.
I think we have 160 racers taking part in today's race.
Great.
And I hope not only these guys are listening or watching, because this live stream part of Triathlon Fall Fest by ROUVY, it's not only for the participants but for the fans as well. So I hope you guys enjoying it. And as you can see, the biggest stars of today's field, Danish triathlete Magnus Ditlev, actually on the second place in the lead from Finland, Ate Jesberg, and Magnus Ditlev on the second place. So it looks to me that Magnus doesn't want to risk his renommee and wants to do full performance in today's race.
Yeah, we see that he is closing in on Jesberg already. While the second screen, we see people still at the first part of the hill, so we see the difference and the power in his legs, that he is already past the first hill. Yeah, this is a real smooth part where you can calm down a bit and make your way ready for that. You have the steep descent where you gain some very fast speeds.
And as I already said, as it is just 40 kilometers, it's hard because you really have to push hard, or I would say as hard as you can. So here we can see the difference in the performance.
Okay, so we have mentioned Magnus Ditlev, the reigning champion, currently on the second place of today's race. And I hope Magnus is in touch with us. Hello, Magnus, to Denmark from ROUVY studio in Prague. Do you hear us?
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry if I'm not able to speak that much. I'm about to close my gap.
Okay, great. Just a quick one. How are you right now?
I can't really hear you.
Okay, Magnus is doing his best job. You can see him in his environment. Magnus is at home. Thank you. We can see him in a second place. Hopefully, we will get in touch with him again. Right now, in a second place. You know, Challenge Roth is known as one of the, I would say, fastest race among the long distance triathlon. It basically makes no sense to me. If you have mentioned before, it's a hilly course. We are talking about the steep uphill for the solar hill as well. I, as an amateur, would say the fastest race would be the flattest one with no uphills. So how is it possible that Challenge Roth is one of the fastest long-distance triathlons?
Yes, you are right. It seems like that flat courses should be always the fastest one, but in case of Challenge Roth, it's like when there are a few short, sharp uphills, and then you go quite a long time downhills. Yeah. Okay. So here you can save your time for the fastest splits. And on the other hand, if you have a flat course and it's really windy and you had a side wind, it makes a really hard race from this quite easy course.
Yeah, I think so too. The race, there are some altitude meters, but not too much. And I think that you can alternate the flat parts and the uphill and the downhill, makes it very fast. It is the fastest race we have, with the world record of Jan Frodeno of 7:35. And if you compare it, for instance, with Almere, my hometown race, we have the race record on 7:36. It's pancake flat. Christian Hogenhaug had a very fast time, but it is also depending a bit on the weather conditions. When the wind is too strong, you have nowhere to hide, and that is harder than when you every now and then have a slight hill and you can push, but also relax a bit and get yourself out of the saddle and not like 4 hours only in the TT position. You need a bit of alternation in the course. That makes it very fast. But it's not only the bike part, it's also the swim and the run course that needs to be fast as well. And I think Challenge Roth has the ideal combination of the three to make world record times there.
Mm-hmm. You have mentioned Almere. It's a great coincidence. Simona did a group ride, part of the Fall Fest yesterday on the course of Challenge Almere. So it's a great cooperation between you two guys in the studio. And Belinda from Australia virtually raised her hand. She wants to give us her thoughts about why is Challenge Roth such a fast race. So Belinda, we are dying to hear your thoughts about it.
Well, there's several reasons it's the fastest race. Firstly, as you mentioned, the swim. It's in a canal, so you've always got super smooth conditions. It's not in the ocean. You're not depending on whether it's wind is picking up or waves. Of the 10 times I've raced there, I've never had bad conditions in the water, and that's almost unheard of. Every time I've raced there, it's been a wetsuit swim, so that helps as well. And you also get the whirlpool effect. So when you are doing the 2 laps there, you actually get a whirlpool effect. So you actually get pushed around when you go down one end and then come back to the other end. So it's one big loop. But when you go down one end and you start to come back the other side, the athletes, the age group athletes that are starting behind the professional athletes actually push the pro athletes the other way. It's a scientific fact. I don't know how it works, but it's that whirlpool effect that actually starts to happen from that one big loop. So the swim is very fast. The bike ride, you're dead right. I remember the first time that I rode it. There are so many undulations and 2 decent climbs. One climb at Greeting and the climb that you do at Solarberg, and you do that twice. And I remember saying to my husband, how is this a fast course? But I think it's a combination of very, very good smooth roads. So they are really smooth, fast roads. So your rolling resistance is minimal. And secondly, you always get a good field in Roth. So every time I've raced there, I've had incredible women to race against, which naturally makes it a fast race. Thirdly, the crowds.
Yeah.
It's incredible how much faster crowds make you race. When you've got crowds along the entire course, particularly on the run, it's impossible to go slowly. You are just fueled by the crowds that are screaming at you to keep going. And with the run, it's on such a perfect surface for running a marathon. So you've got half road, half compact dirt. And that compact dirt doesn't have such an effect on your muscles as it does when you run purely on the road. So when you do 42 kilometers on a road, it really is quite hard on your muscles. But when you've got that combination of that hard packed dirt and the road, it's a lot easier on the muscles, and you just genuinely run a lot faster. So it's a combination of all those factors that make Roth one of the fastest courses out there.
Thank you so much, Belinda. Jort and Simona couldn't agree more.
Exactly. This is a great summary of Belinda, why this is the most fast course that we have. Yeah.
Yes. There are many factors that make course fast. As Belinda said, that here is a fast swim, as this is calm water. When you compare it with the swimming in the sea, where you can have really waves and choppy water. And also, I would mention here that mostly you have, let's say, good weather conditions, like you can have quite a heat weather in Roth, but there should not be some extremes, hot or really cold weather. So everything, when you take it together, it makes the course really fast.
Yeah, and also what Belinda mentioned, the level of the athletes. Last edition, in the summer of 2022, I was on the course and I thought, okay, this is what they mean with it's too hot to race, because it was brutally hot on the run course. But we saw Magnus, he was only 7 seconds away from the best time of Jan Frodeno. So he's an animal, and he pushed his body to the limit to be so fast on this course. So that's great respect.
And maybe he could surpass Frodeno if he knew he had that chance.
I think so. If he knew it up front, but he never expected maybe this achievement. But yeah, if he knew up front, he could push even more. Yeah.
If we take a look on what's happening on the course, Magnus just took the lead at Jesberg on the 2nd place, and on the 9th position we have Peter Wawrzyk, and I hope we are in touch with Peter, who is doing the ride at his home in Zlín. So Peter, do you hear us? Hi.
Hi, how are you?
We are great.
I can hear you.
You can hear us. That's
Not sure
awesome.
if you can hear me.
Do you hear us? Hi.
Yes, I do.
Perfect, perfect. So how are you right now? You're pushing 100%, or you're still saving some energy?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my even pace and even effort as usual. So I'm losing on the climbs. I'm gaining on the downhills and flats. And I see that half of the climb is behind us. So I should be all set.
Okay, it looks to me you're suffering a little bit. Is it true or not?
Yeah, I'm not suffering too much. I'm flying to Patagonman Extra tomorrow. So I try not to kill myself before the long haul flight and travel.
Mm-hmm. This online race, does it suit well to your training plan with the direction to Patagonman?
I didn't hear the question.
If this online race suits well in your training plan for Patagonman?
I know that you are asking something about Patagonman. I don't understand. I don't, but yeah, I was training on a course of Patagonman.
Okay.
On ROUVY. That might have been the question.
Okay, okay. Great.
It's exciting course.
Yeah, great, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We will be back with Peter Wawrzyk several times again. Obviously, it's really difficult to do the interview during the race. As you could see when we were in touch with Magnus, and right now with Peter, it's not real fun. It's a real hard work if you do Challenge Roth, even if you do only only a section of the bike course. Even if you do it online on a ROUVY platform, it's still a real hard work, and you have to push yourself. And maybe with this online environment, the others, if you're in touch with them, can help you to push more, or comparing to the way when you are, I don't know, all by yourself alone in the cellar of your house and trying to push a little bit, the others helps you to push more.
Of course, this is one advantage of such technologies like ROUVY, that you can ride indoor as a social ride, and you can push yourself and compete with other racers.
I think we're still in touch with Belinda, and she was listening to us during the short interview with Magnus and a little longer interview with Peter. If you remember your times doing the race in Roth and all around the world, were you able to talk to anyone else during the race, or not at all?
If anyone that knows me knows that I talked continuously throughout races. I was renowned for it. I mean, you know, full distance racing, it's a long day out. You're out there for 8, 9, 10 hours. And so I always used to speak during races. I loved it. I loved having a chat to friends. The professional athletes that I used to race against were friends of mine. So we'd have a chat if we were together on the bike. Particularly if someone passed me on the run or I passed someone else on the run, you'd have a little chat as they went past. I think you saw it this year with Magnussen and Jan Frodeno. When Magnus joined Jan Frodeno on the bike ride, they had a little bit of a talk together, a chat together. And again on the run, when Magnus was able to catch Jan Frodeno. And I think in long course racing, it's one of the things that I love the most about long course athletes, is that there is that camaraderie amongst us all, that we know that when we toe a line of a full distance race, we're all in for a long day, and we all want the best out of each other. And so we saw it at the Ironman World Championships this year as well, between Sam Laidlow and Gustav Iden, when Gustav finally caught him. And I think there's that inner respect for athletes, and I love that. I absolutely love that around the sport. So to answer your question, I always spoke in races, always.
It looks to me it was a great fun racing with you in your times. One more question for you, please. I was trying to ask Peter if this online race on this section of by course of Challenge Roth suits well to his training plan for Patagon Man. He's leaving for Patagonia tomorrow, and I think the race starts in a week. It means next Sunday. Do you think it's good for him to try, let's say, I don't know, an hour on the maximum limit of his capabilities a week prior to the race?
Well, anyone that knows Peter Verbruzik knows that an hour of training, even if he's redlining it, is nothing for Peter. I had the opportunity of racing with Peter many, many times around the world, and I've never quite met an athlete like him. He is an absolute freak of nature, and he's done more full distance races than anyone I've ever met before. He's incredible, and the way he used to back it up. In fact, it got to a point in time there where he didn't need to actually train, because he just raced week to week to week. So he didn't need to do much training in between. He just went from one race to the next. So while the most of us, after we'd done a full distance race, would take a month of easy training, he would just go straight into the next one. So he really didn't even need to train in the end. So for him to do an hour hard on the rivet right now before he gets on a plane, for Peter Verbruzik, it's nothing. For the rest of us mere mortals, we probably wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be advised. But for Peter, it's he's an incredible athlete, and it's great to see that he's still racing around the world, because he was one tough athlete.
Thank you. I think we all wish him the best of luck for the Patagon Man. Fingers crossed for you, Peter. What's happening on course right now? Magnus Ditlev in the lead, 18 kilometers behind him, and he is still with a leading couple with Jesberg from Finland. The others are behind them. Han is in the 3rd place, and the others are far behind. So, Simona and Jort, what do you think about the speed they are showing us in today's race? We are 25 minutes and 20 seconds into the race and 18.5 kilometers behind the leaders.
Yeah, they're going really fast, so they are going for it. Yeah, and I see that they're constantly alternating the lead. So I think they are pushing each other, and that is also the nice thing, that you are in your own room, in your home, but still can race other people, and that is a lot of fun to do, because it pushes you more than when you are just on your own going out. You always get some extra triggers to perform a bit better, and you see it happening in this race as well.
And we can see Magnus as well, because we can take a look in his living room or wherever he is at his home. Yeah, hi Magnus again. We don't know if you hear us correctly, but you're pushing really hard. Great applause for you. I don't know if you hear us. He probably doesn't hear us. Maybe his signal is a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. We can see Magnus pushing really hard, and I think it's good news for everybody that the reigning champion from the actual DATEV Challenge Roth from this year, because we are still in 2022, is just not taking part, but trying to push and trying to win to confirm his victory. And I think it's a huge motivation for anyone else taking part in this race online environment. Of course,
It's a good advantage when you can race at the same time with pro athletes, and you can compare your finish time with them.
So that was the first part of the race. We have a short commercial break, but stay with us, stay in touch. We will be back in the studio, back in the Triathlon Fall Fest again.
What starts here could change the world. Training means taking on a fight with yourself. A fight that can only be won. Right? Redefine yourself and be at your very best in your darkest moments. Reimagine what is possible. Your personal best. Make the difference and change the world. Train smarter, race stronger. Best side.
You're still watching the Triathlon Fall Fest by ROUVY, and we are watching and closely following the race on the section of biking course of DATEV Challenge Roth. I would say the most famous race, who is a member of the Challenge family. We are racing with 8 pro athletes and another 160 racers taking part in this online race, 38 kilometers. The leaders are right now on the 22nd kilometer, so the speed is really high. The guys and ladies are pushing a lot. Let me repeat one more time that you can take part in the competition for interesting prizes, and you can donate the Challenged Athlete Foundation. Visit the website of ROUVY, visit the social medias of ROUVY and Challenge Family and as well, and you will find out more. The top prize is a 2 times slot for the real Challenge Roth for 2023. So I think it's a really wonderful prize for all of you guys taking part in the Triathlon Fall Fest. Not only this live stream, not only this race, and you will get known the winners in the following days on the social media of ROUVY. So Simona, what's happening on course right now? What have you seen?
We have just found Fenella Langridge. She's on 56th position overall, but we have to count that it's together with men fields. So unfortunately, I don't know what is her place.
I think she is leading the women's race with Lucy Byram.
You mean Fenella in the lead?
Fenella,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes.
Fenella
Yeah.
is leading, yeah. And I think Lucy Byram is just behind her. Yeah, she can almost see Fenella in front of her if you look at the virtual perspective.
And basically, from all what have you just said, it's crystal clear that the women's field in today's race is unbelievably strong. Fenella Langridge, Nikki Bartlett, Lucy Buckingham, Lucy Byram, and as well we have Belinda still in touch. So Belinda, what do you think so far of the women's performance and women's performance at all at the long distance triathlon races?
Well, all of the women racing are incredibly strong. They've done so many challenge events this year, and I have got so much respect for each and every one of them. Fenella Langridge, and not a lot of people realise that, she has raced so many challenge events this year. She was, of course, second at Challenge Roth. She was also third at Challenge Mallorca, fourth at the championship in Chamarin. She was first at Challenge Salou, and she is the winner of our Challenge Family World Bonus this year. She is an incredible athlete, and the scary thing, I don't think that we've seen the best of Fenella yet. I think there's more to come. So I cannot wait to see Fenella Langridge line up at Challenge Roth next year, because I think she's really going to blow the race apart. And Lucy Byram, she's still an up-and-coming athlete. We haven't even seen the best of her yet. She's very young. She hasn't been a professional athlete for that long. And currently, she's ranked third in the Challenge Family World Bonus. She's also had an incredible year this year. She was the winner of Challenge Wales. She was fourth at Challenge Mallorca. And Nikki Bartlett, fourth at Challenge Riccione, third at Challenge Salou, and first at Challenge Vansbro. All of these women, amazing athletes. And Lucy Buckingham, while she's suffered a pretty nasty injury about halfway through the year that she's still trying to recover from, I cannot wait to see her back on the course next year, because she is an incredible athlete as well. All I keep saying to myself is, just when I think that we've seen the best of Great Britain, there's another athlete that comes through. There are so many strong female athletes from Great Britain right now. It's incredible. It blows my mind. And they're all not only great athletes, they're incredibly lovely women. And I always love it when they get in contact with me and want to come and race one of our races, because they're just a pleasure. They're a pleasure to deal with.
And Belinda is covering the most of the season, so she is extremely well-oriented in the women's field. Thank you very much. And as we could hear, Belinda did her homework great with all her notes, with all the results she was sharing with us. And we can go to Fenella in person. We can see her. I don't know, Fenella, if you hear us, you're pushing really hard, but if you are, hi, I hope you have a great day. How are you right now?
I'm really well. I'm just building into this 40k. I haven't done a Magnus and gone off like the classes. Honestly, that guy is phenomenal. I don't believe he's doing it a week after his Ironman. Yeah, I'm good. I'm enjoying being back racing.
Okay, that's a huge respect for you. Huge respect with such a performance and even able to do the interview. Thank you very much. It's really interesting for our viewers to take a look on Fenella in person to doing the race. Only admiration we can have for her pushing so hard and talking to us at the same time.
It is so fascinating. If you see Fenella, if you see Magnus, it's like if it's easy, if it's a walk in the park for them, they look so relaxed. But if you see what they are pushing, and they are so
and
fast.
Everybody can see it through the
it's magic
view mode. And Belinda heard Fenella as well. You have been talking about her a lot, but you have something more to add, right?
A lot, but you have something more.
I think the most incredible thing about Fenella Langridge is it's abundantly obvious when she races that she absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
Anyone that has watched her race this year, I mean, watching her on the live stream, on the bike in Roth, then on the run, you can see she is just having the best time of her life. And I think when an athlete races that happy, they get the best out of themselves. But I absolutely love the way Fenella races. She did it also at the World Championships in Kona, just taking it all in. And time again, I can't help but smile when I watch this woman race because she just loves it so much. It's impossible not to love it with her. So I always say a race is always better when Fenella Langridge is racing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. You were saying that you feel that Fenella is having the best time when she's racing. I feel I'm having the best time with all of you so enthusiastic about the race, and that came up on my mind that usually happens on the actual triathlon when you have all the crowd, all the racers cheering for everybody, enjoying the short time. But as we can see right now, it could happen in this online environment at least a little bit as well.
Yes, of course. And I would like to mention to Fenella, she's a kind of athlete who communicates with the audience and with the spectators. As she's competing, she's waving to the spectators and fans, and it's really nice to see how he's happy that she can race and waves the audience, even though she's pushing very hard and she's racing Ironmans.
On the first place in the race right now, Hannenburg, 2 meters to Magnus Ditlev, Jesberg third, and Peter Wawrzyk closely followed with the others, and I think we are again in touch with Peter Wawrzyk doing his race. If we can have a look on his
touch with Peter Wawrzyk
doing the race. Yeah. Hi, Peter again. Do you hear us, Peter? Hi from studio from Prague.
Hi, Peter again.
Yeah, Peter, do you hear us from studio?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, great, awesome, great. So, pretty much almost 30 kilometers behind you, less than 10 kilometers to the finish. How are you right now?
I'm doing great. I kept my wattage through all the hills and flats, so it's paying off, and I'm slowly moving forward through the field, having a lot of fun.
You have mentioned before that tomorrow you are leaving for Patagonia, for Patagon Man. Is this race the only training you have planned for today, or you have something more today coming?
I will go for a swim in the afternoon as well, mostly to recover, as I'm landing the plane, jumping on a plane tomorrow morning for 30-hour travel, so I don't want to get too tired for the travel.
Oh, okay, okay. You're doing the journey all by yourself, or Philip, your son, is going with you, or somebody else?
My son is traveling with me as a support person, and there are 2 other athletes from Czech Republic as well on the start.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a good feeling for the rest of the race. Peter Vabroušek, right now, do you know which position he is?
I guess he was at 7th position. Yes.
7th position, Peter Vabroušek, really experienced guy.
I don't know if people who knows Peter from racing or from my point of view, when I pass Peter or when we are passing during Ironmans, he looks like relaxed on the bike, but today we can see that he is really suffering and pushing very hard. So it's a different kind of person from my opinion.
Maybe it's hot in his cellar at his home.
Of course.
Warmer than in the actual race.
It's a good point that if you are training indoor, you have to have a good fan ahead of you and not so warm and high temperatures, because then it's really horrible to train indoor.
Mm-hmm. We have mentioned before that DATEV Challenge Roth is one of the fastest race. The race itself is not only one of the fastest, but one of the oldest as well, because the tradition in Roth was established in 1984, so it's slightly younger than me, but I don't want to mention anymore. And the long distance race is organized since 1990, and usually every year there is 3,050 individuals and more than 600 relays. Yep. So it's a huge triathlon fest taking place in Bavaria, right?
It's a huge fest. And you mentioned all those thousands of athletes on the Sunday race, but there's also the Challenge Women and the Junior Challenge. There's a night run, so it's a complete festival, multiple days, multiple sports. So they normally have over 10,000 athletes racing in the week, and 250,000 spectators coming there. So the triathlon market, the expo as we call it, is also one of the largest in the world, when you can find every brand is presented there. So that is really a gathering of people that are having the same passion, which is triathlon, coming there. But the race cannot happen without the support of the local community. And it is worth to mention that they have around 7,000 volunteers helping. So they have really a waiting list for volunteer positions, because
waiting list,
otherwise it would be too crowded on the course or the aid stations. Yeah, they have so many people that are involved. That are the clubs, that are the companies locally, and they all make it a special race, as they are there to serve the athletes, and they get so many rewards from the athletes themselves as well.
Have you felt the impact of the unbelievably long tradition of the Challenge Roth when you were taking part of it twice in your career?
Yes, of course. You can feel the atmosphere that everybody from the local people is involved in the race and in the whole event. You can feel it on every corner. I stayed there on a so-called homestay at a local family, and it was unbelievable that they spent the whole weekend during the race. Yeah. So yes, the people really like the race there. They don't have, I would say, any problems with the road closure. They are fans of the race, and they enjoy the whole triathlon weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If we take a look on what's happening on course right now, it seems to me Magnus Ditlev made his move, and we are right now witnessing his great breakaway. He's in the lead by more than 250 meters and still extending his lead. We are less than or about 5 kilometers to the finish. Right now, 33 kilometers. Belinda Granger, the voice of Challenge Family, is still in touch with us. Belinda, Magnus in the lead, more than 200 meters. His advance, less than 5 kilometers to the finish. Did you expect this kind of strategy? Did you expect this kind of move of the star like Magnus Ditlev to win this race?
Oh, absolutely. How could you not? I mean, Magnus Ditlev, he's one of the greatest riders in triathlon right now, but he's also one of the greatest triathletes in triathlon right now. And I know, talking to Magnus, he was renowned for his bike riding, but I think now we can say without a doubt that he's renowned for his triathlon. He's very, very strong over swim, bike, run. But can I just say, watching the coverage and watching the course map there then, it's just put a giant smile on my face, because I literally feel like I'm back in Roth watching this bike course. It's uncanny. And I've never quite seen anything like it. It's awesome. This is the first time that I've actually seen ROUVY live. And to see just how lifelike the course is, it's blown my mind. It really has. I know exactly where Magnus is now on the Roth course, and it's crazy. So, wow, honestly, very, very cool. But going back to the question, Magnus is an incredible athlete, and the scary thing with Magnus is he's got so many more years left. He's very, very young for a long distance athlete. He started very young. Usually back in my day, you didn't get into long distance triathlon till you're in your late 20s, early 30s. And here we have Magnus Ditlev in his early 20s and already setting the world on fire. So, I hate to think where he's going to be in a few years' time. He's going to be definitely one of the greatest long-distance triathletes on the planet. But what's so incredible is that he's fresh off a win at an Ironman only last weekend. So he's barely had time to recover. So it's incredible to think that he's leading here today. But does it surprise me? Not really. He's just all class. He really is. And I know that he wants to return to Roth next year. So he's just putting it out there right now that he is the king of this course. So it'll be very interesting.
As you mentioned, Magnus is still really young, but I would say it's like a phenomenon of these days that the top athletes, even on the long distance triathlon races, are getting younger and younger, and the structure of the field of the top athletes is changing a little bit comparing to the previous times, right?
Oh, look, absolutely. And I think, we've got both the Norwegians, Gustav Eden and Christian as well, that they're leading the way. They're showing us that you don't just have to be a long course athlete or a short course athlete like in my day. In my day, long course athletes were the older athletes and short course Olympic distance athletes were the younger athletes. But it's just not the case anymore. We've got so many young up and coming, particularly in the men's field, the likes of Magnus Ditlev. He's got a friend of his, Tor Bendex Madsen, who's only 23 years of age, who's doing very, very well in the long course world. So there's all of these younger athletes that should be sticking to Olympic distance racing, but they've decided to move on into the half distance, into the full distance, and they're doing incredibly well. And the scary thing is their recovery. So their recovery from races is so fast. It's going to be interesting down the track to see how they are when they get to their mid-30s to late 40s. To see how they're still going. You think about Jan Frodeno now, he's in his early 40s, and in my eyes, still the greatest long-distance athlete we've ever seen. I can't imagine Magnus being in the sport that long, if he's only in his early 20s now, to think, to have a career that long in long-distance racing, but times are changing, and that's how sport should be. Our sport needs to continue evolving. For it to get on a world stage and for it to get better, we need the sport to continue to evolve. So we need these youngsters to come up without preconceived ideas and do things that are incredible. Like we saw Sam Laidlow do in Kona not that long ago. We need them to come in and just blow these courses apart and keep raising the bar. I mean, there's several athletes that we've seen do that in the past. Chrissy Wellington comes to mind for the women, Daniela Riff, that have continued raising the bar, and now these youngsters are coming through and they're continuing to raise that bar again.
Thank you. That's Belinda Granger from Australia joining us live with this live stream of ROUVY Challenge Roth. The finish is coming closer and closer. We have a short commercial break and we will be back with our broadcast again soon. Let's have a look on what's happening on course, because Magnus Ditlev is almost in the finish. We can see on the right Magnus by himself, and on the left side we can see him finishing the race. Magnus Ditlev almost in the finish, winning this first ever ROUVY race on the most important and most interesting section of the DATEV Challenge Roth bike course. It was incredible performance from Magnus, who won as a first person ever the Challenge Roth, let's say twice a year, because he has won it in June and the full triathlon, and right now on the ROUVY as well. Second place, Simon Hahnenbruch. Cycling team Rhein-Main, the German, the local guy, finishing on the second place. It was excellent performance from Simon as well, and finishing on the third place from Finland, Ate Jesberg. He was in the close touch with Magnus from the beginning till the, let's say, 20-25K, but right now he is finishing third. So what's your first thoughts about the Magnus Ditlev victory? As I mentioned before when we were out for the commercial, it's a bit faster than I originally expected.
Yeah, and I said that is always with Magnus the case. He's always faster than you expect. We saw that he pushed a bit harder in the last 5 or 8K, I think. Then he really took a gap, and yeah, we see him finishing 300 meters up front. So you see that he had something left in the legs, and had a great finish. And we saw him on screen, and he didn't commentate, so he was like pushing till the last meter. As that, yeah, you should do that as a good athlete. You always should stop after the line and not before. And that is what he did. He showed how great he is as a sportsman, and very, very fast. Yeah. Almost catch the commercial break. So
yeah, that's true. We made it. We can see Peter Wawrzyk finishing the race. Right now on the third place, Andrew Emmerich from Sweden, Alan Uert from France of the fifth place. Then there is a Czech guy, Karl Soušek, CK Královské Vinohradské Šlapky on the sixth position. And Peter will be soon in the finish, so we can stay with him live, watching him finishing the race on the seventh position. Peter Wawrzyk getting ready for Patagon Man, the reigning double Ironman world champion from the United States this summer. Peter Wawrzyk, less than 200 meters to the finish, so his final meters of the 38 kilometers course. You can see him in the finish area, and Peter Wawrzyk is in the finish right now. Seventh place for Peter Wawrzyk, 2 minutes and 58 minutes behind Magnus Ditlev. And we are going back to Australia. Belinda, Magnus Ditlev, 38 kilometers and 51 minutes and 17.6 seconds. I would say it's an awesome performance. What about you?
No, absolutely. And honestly, after watching Magnus grow from strength to strength since I very first met him in Challenge Daytona a few years back, to see where he started and where he's come to now, he's truly the future of the sport. And so nothing Magnus does anymore surprises me. He really is all class. And as I said, big things to come from this man. I mean, he had a great year this year. He actually looks like he's finished third overall in our Challenge Family World Bonus. And I know that next year is going to be even bigger and better for this young man. He truly is a remarkable athlete.
Mm-hmm. It seems to me right now that in the lead of the women's race is Lucy Buckingham, correct? Yes. Yeah, she is in the 16th position, more than 2 kilometers to the finish. So, Simona, would you say that Lucy is about to make it to the finish on the first place among the women?
Yes, I guess, of course. I'm just wondering, as she's pushing about 5 or almost or more than 5 watts per kilograms.
5.5 right now?
Yes. And as Belinda already mentioned, Lucy had or was not racing the whole season this year as she had a problem with lower back. I guess she was not training for many weeks, so it's unbelievable that she can push so hard now.
And overall, 16th place for the leading women in total ranking. That's awesome.
It is, if you see how fast it goes. And actually noticed that Magnus Ditlev took the bike record on this online course, as before it was 52 minutes 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. So he made a big improvement. So we know that the pace was very high. So seeing Lucy here on the 16th place, finishing overall, she's going very fast, and it also gives some confidence about her fitness. So that's really great to see.
Yes, I guess it's a good test for her, of course.
Let's have one more try to talk to directly Magnus at his home. He's resting right now. So Magnus, hi, do you hear us right now?
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
That's awesome. So hello from the studio, ROUVY, based in Prague. Hello to Denmark. Obviously, you have won the race in the great shape, with the great performance. How did you like it at all?
Yeah, it was a bit tough to to get going again after I haven't trained for a week. So this was my first workouts in 7 days. And the two guys I was riding with were really going hard the first 15 minutes, and I thought I didn't have a chance actually. But then I was riding with them, and they sort of dropped the pace. And in the middle section, I was feeling very comfortable riding around Ironman pace. So I saw and also knew from when I raced in Roth myself that there is a hill like 10 kilometers from the finish, and I decided to make an attack there. And I got away from the two riders and then kept it steady until the finish line.
Mm-hmm. The two riders you have mentioned and you have been in contact during the race, it's Simona Hahnenbruch from Germany and Ate Jesberg from Finland. Do you know these guys in person, or it was just a meeting in the online environment for you guys?
No, I don't know actually the guys I was riding with, but I was extremely impressed with how they attacked the course. And in the beginning, I thought I didn't stand a chance, but then the old diesel engine kicked in, and I managed to take the win.
Mm-hmm. At the beginning, we were discussing the benefits of these kind of training. Is it one of the important parts of your training to get ready for actual races? I mean, the online races, racing or training indoor as well?
Yeah, it was. It is really. I use indoor training a lot myself since I live in Denmark, and the weather in the winter is not really ideal for riding outside. So it's actually previously I used to do a lot of races, but it's been a long time since I've done a proper virtual race, and it was fun to get back to some of my old routes. Normally, I just do at the moment like structured workout intervals. So, but it was fun to mix it up with a real race.
Okay, Magnus, thank you very much for joining us, and huge congratulations from studio in Prague to Denmark for another victory at the DATEV Challenge Roth. That was Magnus Ditlev from Denmark, live in touch with us. You have heard him, what was his thoughts about the race, and there was a clear move like the 10Ks prior to finish, as he mentioned as well, and we have seen on course.
Yeah, and there you see also the advantage of the combination of the online and the offline sports, that he knows the course and he knows where he can attack. And now he knew that knowledge, experience to use in this online race, but you can also turn it around when you experience it online and you already are prepared for the race in the upcoming season, where you had no chance to travel before and do your trainings there. You can do it online and use it as an advantage on race day. So the combination
totally opposite
of the
as
two,
Magnus did today, but it works both ways.
It works both ways, yes. And it is what Belinda says. It really feels if you are there, because you see the live environment. It is not a computer graphic. It is actually how it looks in Roth, and integrated with some nice graphics. As you see the 8 stations, you see the Red Bull spot, you see the finish arch, you see the partner. So it really gives a new experience than we had ever before.
The only thing you're not going to see here is the thousands of the spectators.
No.
Maybe it could be in the next step for creating this course. In the meantime, Lucy Buckingham really won the race. I would say on the second place, it's Nikki Bartlett among the women. On the 27th position in total ranking. And we have been in touch with Peter Babroušek, who has finished on the 7th place. Yes, Peter again with us. So Peter, you're still racing?
On the 7th?
Yeah. Can we hear?
Yeah, we can hear you very well. You're still racing, or it's just a cool down for you?
I'm sorry, but I don't hear the questions. I suppose that the question was something like how I felt. I felt great. I kept it around 333 watts. That's a nice number, roughly where my FTP might be. So it didn't kill me because it was less than an hour. And I was surprised by being top 10 in such a fast and difficult race.
Okay.
So I guess my form is good.
We hope your form is good. Thank you very much. It's another aspect of indoor cycling, as we have seen Peter still pushing a little bit. So you cannot forget the proper cool down. If you're indoor, it doesn't matter. You still have to follow the basic rules, how to treat your body, even indoors, right?
Yes, definitely. It's important to have a warm up before the race or hard training, and as well cool down. It's good for recovery, so that you can recover faster for the next sessions. So definitely, it's a must of the training session.
And if you imagine that there was like time for, I don't know, 51 or 52, 53 minutes for the leaders, how long you should cool down on the bike if you're indoors usually? What would you recommend, Simona?
I think it's enough 10-15 minutes.
10-15 minutes, slowing down.
Slowing down, yes. On high cadence and low watts, which suits you, so that your legs can recover better.
Right now we have 35 people in the finish, and a lot of them finishing right now. And it's wonderful if you take a look on the flags and the starting field. It's literally from all around the globe, Czech Republic, Italy, Sweden, Slovakia, Austria, Belgium, all Great Britain, of course. We have a Danish flag with Magnus Ditlev, and we can watch Fenella Langridge. I don't know if she's in the finish or she's cooling down.
Yeah, she is almost at the finish line. She has 700 meters to go. So
700 meters to go.
She is now in the slightly descent to the city of Hilpoltstein, and then she has a right turn, and then she can see the finish line. So she is at almost the last crossing. So we will see her in a few seconds finishing.
It looks to me Fenella is able to hear us from the studio and looking forward to cross the finish line.
Yeah, very much so. Just about to hit Soda Hill.
Okay. Okay, very nice environment for you doing the indoors. You're looking great. Was it an enjoyable session for you?
Yeah, it's been so much fun. It's nice to get the legs turning, do a little bit of an effort. Congrats to everyone that was racing or just going for a social ride. It's been great to be part of it, and I'm just about to cross the finish line.
Okay, there you are in the finish. Okay, Fenella Langridge in the finish. Another great star of triathlon taking part in today's race. And Belinda Granger in Australia still watching the race, still in touch with the studio, watching you. She said that you are one of the most smiling races in the finish. And Belinda, we have seen the smile on the Fenella face even today pretty much all the time. We have been in touch with her.
Honestly, she's just incredible. I absolutely adore this woman. I've become really close to herself and her partner, Billy Harris, and they are two of the nicest people in the sport. And I cannot say enough good stuff about this woman. She's not only an incredible athlete, but she's one of the most beautiful athletes on the circuit.
That's awesome. Who's in the finish right now? Coming to the finish, Lucy Byram, another top triathlete in the women's field. And we can see the results. As I mentioned before, the winner is Magnus Ditlev in the time 51 minutes and 17.6 seconds. 26.6 seconds behind him, Simon Hannenbruch from Germany. And on the third place, less than a minute behind the leader, Ate Jesberg from Finland. We have seen or heard great words from Magnus Ditlev about these two guys. Congratulations, guys. And women results. We can see here that actually the race was won by Stephanie Breaks from Canada, Lucy Buckingham second, Nikki Bartlett third, Fenella Langridge fourth, and Lucy Byram on the fifth place. So congratulations to Stephanie as well. And we are coming to an end of our broadcast. So we are almost in the finish line as the racers did before. So what's your emotions? So it was, I don't know, first of a kind broadcasting with ROUVY and Challenge family taking part of the Challenge Roth race. Simona, how did you enjoy the studio and the broadcasting and the commenting?
I have enjoyed it very much, and I must say that when I see such a type of race. I hope I will be next time part of the race myself.
We will deeply miss you here in the studio, but I totally understand. Jort, what about you? Of course, Challenge Family wants to organize the actual races, but this is kind of direction you can move on a little bit too, right?
Of course, there's nothing better than the actual live race, but it comes pretty close, and especially when you are racing on the well-known courses, you feel where they are, you know the course, you see the other athletes, so you have that interaction, especially with the broadcast where you can see the athletes training and racing at their homes. That is really great. It is you feel the excitement of all the participants and everyone competing. It is really great, like the gathering of the people and the social aspect of it, and combined with the actual racing and the fast times that are being driven by them. It's so inspiring. It is different than when you do your workout on your own. If you have these kind of things, then you start thinking, I want to be on the course again. I want to race. It's like you said, you hope that you can participate in the next event as well. And that is also about triathlon. It is the long roads you have to do. It's the journey to the event, but it's also the think of the goosebumps you will get by the actual crowds and crossing the finish line, and doing these kind of online virtual things comes pretty close to give you a booster in the training season and make yourself ready and know why you are doing it, and feel that passion alive together with people from all over the world, which is actually quite like when you are at the event. You meet people like from 80 different countries and you see them here competing as well. You know that what time zone they're in. Like Belinda is 9 hours ahead, but we all are in this together, and you feel the same joy and the same passion, and that's really great. So it was an enjoyable morning in Prague here.
Thank you. And we will give a chance to two of you guys watching and racing and taking part overall in the all Triathlon Fall Fest to experience the goosebumps in person in the Challenge Roth 2023, because you can win the starting slot for this famous race for the coming year. Follow the social medias of ROUVY. That's DATEV Challenge Roth 2023. Any races left in the Challenge family in 2022?
Yeah, we have one race coming up next week in Brazil, in Florianopolis, and then it's the end of the year. And we are back with the Challenge Wanaka early 2023.
New Zealand.
New Zealand,
yeah. Challenge Wanaka, New Zealand, one of the most famous races. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all from our today's live broadcast. I would like to deeply thank everybody involved in this broadcasting, and especially I would like to thank the guests in the Prague studio. Simona Křivánková, professional Czech triathlete. Thank you, Simona.
Thank you so much.
Jort Vlam, the CEO of Challenge Family. Thank you, Jort.
Thank you.
And also big thanks to Australia, to Belinda Granger for joining us and staying with us with the whole broadcast. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was an absolute pleasure. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, we love you too. Loved sending to Australia. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all. Stay in touch with the ROUVY, stay in touch with the Challenge family. Thanks to the social media, follow the calendar, follow another meeting sessions, something like this in the future. We are so happy to have you and so happy to share this experience with you. Have a great Sunday, and we will be happy to see you back soon. Bye.